Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Sorry, I was
Hold
on
on, I
mute.
can't hear you.
You can't?
No.
That's
you muted?
weird. I'm not on mute now. Hello?
Oh, hi, I can hear you now.
Hi. There's a delay. I'm gonna eat my cereal, then I'll come back on the camera.
Sounds good. I have my Fruit Loops already.
Looking forward to it.
Right. See if I can. Good morning.
Good morning, Danielle.
Good morning. That's better. You guys can read the actual words now on this, right? Or is it backwards to you?
We can read it.
Sweet. All right, wait a few more minutes for people to hop on. Does everybody still have like power at home?
Yes, how about you,
I
Danielle?
do.
Do you
I
have
have
power?
power, but no internet.
Ugh.
Yeah, like halfway through the debate last night, my TV turned off. I think that was
Uh-oh.
like a blessing, you know? All right. Give it one more minute for people to hop on if they're on their way. Ashley, I totally tried to drop Mackenzie off yesterday. Our schools had an in-service day, you know, because they've had like 7 total days of school. The teachers had an in-service day and I forgot. I tried to drop my daughter off at preschool yesterday morning and the school was empty and closed.
Too hard to keep track of all that now.
Oh my Lord. And then I almost forgot to tell my mother-in-law not to go and pick her up in the afternoon.
Oh my God.
Imagine.
I couldn't have little kids right now. I'd lose my mind.
It's so much. It's so much. It's so much. All right, let's get started. Keeping track of multiple transactions. Oh shit. What made you guys, I wanted to be totally participatory today. So turn your mics on. You don't have to turn your cameras on. But I want to chit chat, right? because I want to know what you guys are facing in your neck of the woods so that I can help you best. Because I could sit up here and tell you a whole bunch of things, and then maybe you thought the class was about something else, but I really want to pick your brain as to why you showed up today. What made you attend, keeping track of multiple, it was supposed to be transactions, but listings. We can roll with that.
I guess I have like system deficit. So
Order.
yeah, so I'm like, okay, so am I doing this the right way? Is this the most efficient way? So I like have like 8 different systems because I'm not sure which one I should really be doing. So
Yeah.
I think I do a little bit of overkill, which is fine too, but I just wanted to see if there was like a different way or a better way.
Streamline it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else?
Yes, Danielle, I agree. It's all about streamlining and how to do it more efficiently. So thank you, Christian. I agree.
Perfect. Perfect. Where are you guys finding speed bumps? So, and what I mean by speed bumps, it's the things that make you say, oh shit. Like middle of the night, wake up first thing in the morning, you just get that pit in your stomach and you like wake up in the push-up position of like, what did I forget? I forgot that. I didn't tell this person. What are your speed bumps?
I think it's more, for me, it's more of keeping track of the other agents or the clients, as far as like, I remind them what to do, or there's a due date on something and like, you literally all day are like all over it and, trying to keep track, and then you get busy with something else. And then later on you find out like they didn't respond to you. It's like,
Yep.
I feel like everything ends up back on my shoulders instead of the like co-brokes doing their part of it.
Yep.
Like I had like looking for a purchase and sales like 8 times because they're sending it to me and it was in the wrong format. It was the draft. It wasn't even signed when they sent it to me. I'm like, why? But I mean, I have to follow up on this stuff.
Yeah. I'm
chase
seeing that
checks
too
down.
with purchase and sales, especially like typically, I know attorneys are in the weeds right now, so I know that's part of it. But this week alone, like the prodding to just get the draft or to get it finalized or whatever, it's multiple emails. Like
Mhm.
every morning you're like, oh, that's not done yet. Oh, that's not done yet.
Right. And are they even doing it? Because there's no communication, so you don't really know.
Yeah. Yep. What else? A few more people popping on. All right. We will run with it. So what do you think creates the smoothest transaction, especially on the listing side?
Communication.
Anybody else? Disagree? Agree?
I agree.
I agree with that. I agree with that. So communication. So for me, I think the biggest part in learning how to manage listings was how to streamline communication, right? Because there's so many moving pieces. There's people who only text, they don't email. There's people who email but don't text. There's people who literally, my favorite last month was we had a client who only had a house phone, and him and his wife lived on different wings of the house. And there was a time that I called and the husband picked up and he said, oh, I don't know why my wife didn't pick up the other phone in the other room, because they would always pick up the phone at the same time, like the landline. And so he's like, I don't know where my wife is. And all of a sudden I hear like a clown horn, like a bicycle horn go, wah, wah, and then he yelled for his wife. So like that stuff still happens.
Oh my God.
So like there's no getting around like sending templated emails to that person, right? Because they're just living in like 1982.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So if I could have renamed this class anything, it would have been put the property address in your email subject line, like the end,
Mm-hmm.
right? It drives me bananas when co-brokes will send like an offer on a property and the subject line says no subject, or like how do they know what they're sending and who did they send it to? Like if you envision your email inbox and it's literally things that say like purchase and sale, need a key, like all these generic little taglines that you could put as an email subject, it's gonna drive you crazy. So it's hard enough to get those from other people, but if you kind of control the email subject line, that makes my life 100% easier. So say an email comes in from a co-broke and it will say final walkthrough request. I will reply back and edit the subject line to include 123 Main Street final, because if I'm looking quick and it's like nighttime or first thing in the morning, I want to know what transactions I need my attention, not what action items. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Like if I could name this class anything, it would be like use the property address in the email subject line.
Mm-hmm.
Done. Like shut off the Zoom. That's everything. Otherwise, you're sifting through stuff and you're like, oh my God, who did this come from? And what property does it belong to? So that is key to life for multiple transactions, whether it's listings, buyers, or both. Script. Say the same thing every time. So when you're taking a listing, have an email template, right? So what I did was I went back and I went through like the last 3 listings that we onboarded at one time. And I noticed that I said the same thing every time, but like a dummy, I'm sitting there typing it out every single time, word by word. Don't do that, right? So you could, if you wanted to, you could have like a Word document or a Google Doc, and you could copy and paste it like a template, or you could, there's a way to save email drafts in Google. It's like a lab, so it's not, it doesn't appear for everybody. There's like a way that you turn it on, and if you need help with that, just email me and I can send you the directions on that. But stop typing out long-winded emails every time from scratch. You should have like a copy and paste, just get it done. Of course, you're gonna have to tweak some things. Say somebody doesn't want a lockbox, or they don't want to sign, or they don't have a spare key, they have a door code on their door pad. Those are the things that will change, but the guts of the email are typically still the same. You'll still need to ask like, what's the alarm code or what's the keypad code? So just having a templated email reminds me the questions that I have to ask, so I don't have to say, oh shoot, I forgot to ask them how I get in, or shoot, I forgot to ask if it's septic or sewer. Oh shoot, I forgot. Templates are the key to life. And then for listings, the contact list is my holy grail. And what I mean by contact list essentially is attorneys, right? So we talked about the struggle, the back and forth on purchase and sale drafts and deadlines and all that. I find that the easiest way, typically, not in this crazy market where everybody's in the weeds, but typically, if I get the co-broke's attorney information, the second I get the offer back, the rest of the transaction runs so much smoother, right? Because I'm able to stay in my lane knowing that I connected the 2 attorneys, and then I just monitor to check to see if, you know, anyone ghosted, right? Or just to make sure that the initial communication took place. So where I see a lot of struggle on listings is if either our client or the co-broke is slow to get the attorneys talking together. Because if there's like a 10-day time frame for inspection and purchase and sale, sometimes what I see is they won't give up the attorney information, or they don't think to automatically forward it to you until after the home inspection. But that could already be 6-7 days into that period. So you're already behind, right? You're already putting the attorney under the gun to turn around a draft, to review the draft, to contact your client. So they have a ton of moving pieces too, not that it's all about them, but it kind of is when your clients are involved, right? So setting them up for success only helps your transaction to run smooth. Does that make sense? Have you guys seen it where it's like, oh shoot, I don't have that attorney information, and it's like already 8 days into that period?
I usually ask for everything right up front, lender everything, and I'll put an email together and send it to everybody involved.
Yes.
So then everybody has and everyone's on the same email.
Yep.
Even if, whether I'm on the buyer or the seller side, I just do it.
100%. You will look like a superhero to any attorney. Like, I promise you, they will love you forever and ever. Because again, so many people send out emails without a subject line, or they don't have the correct information in the subject line. And I'm even neurotic enough about email subject lines that when I send that contact list to an attorney, I have a template email subject line for that. So I will do the property address, so 123 Main Street dash PNS / my client's last name. So whenever I see that email subject line, I know that that is communication from my client's attorney on their purchase and sale. Right?
Mhm.
What else? Any questions so far? Helpful? Not helpful? Good. What else with communication? Oh, huge, 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 huge. So, when you start looking at your like rhythmic emails to clients, because the same things happen in every transaction, maybe in a different order, maybe one is more chaotic than the other, but for the most part, the steps in the transaction are the same, right? Offer, inspection, appraisal, mortgage commitment, closing, finals, all of that stuff is pretty much the same, right? Get into a rhythm in your client communication, whether it's on the phone, through email or text. My emails are always laid out like this. Here's what just happened, right? So congratulations on your accepted offer. Boom. Here's what's happening next. So here's what I'm working on for your sale next, right? And then I'll say, I'm ordering the smoke certificate. I'm ordering the this, that, or the other thing. And then here's the solution, right? So if there was a problem or they had a question and they weren't sure how things were going to pan out, you offer the solution there, right? So that prevents some of the frantic, like, oh my, communication from your client of what do I do next, or where is this, or who do I, blah, blah, blah. So every time you wrap up a phone call, say, oh, that's great. Here, I just wanted to keep you posted on what's happening next. The photographer will be out on Monday, and we'll plan to go live in MLS on Thursday when I get the pictures back from the photographer. So you're like sandwiching the communication, right? That's proactive. It makes that your client feel like you're on top of it, and you have that vision like down the pipeline what's going to happen. So I feel like it establishes a bit of trust too, where they know you're forward thinking, you're not in the weeds, you know, being reactionary towards it. We talked about this already. So the communication with the co-broke, attorney, or lender, you want all of the contact information on there, the introduction, what's changed. So we'll bebop a little all over the place, but the email that I send, the introduction to my client's attorney, I will say things like, in my templated email, it will say, hi, I'm Danielle. I work alongside Bill Dentremont, Kristen Buger, Janice, whoever I'm working with. I'm working alongside this agent on this transaction. And then I'll say bullet points. The offer is attached. Home inspection is on blank, because that's usually the attorney's first question is, when's the home inspection? Is it done? Has anything changed? So I'll say home inspection is on the 15th. I'll keep you posted. Or if it's already been completed, I'll let them know it's been completed and there's no changes, or here's the change that's different from the offer, right? So it's almost becoming anticipatory of like what their next question is going to be and answering it for them, so that you eliminate all of that back and forth. Like if you're concise in just your initial email, you're going to eliminate 10 emails that in that one day of back and forth of thanks, got it, or did you, or, you know. So my MO in communicating is just trying to anticipate what the next question is going to be, so that I don't have my inbox flooded with 10 more questions when I could have solved it in my first email of the day. Dates and deadlines. Working.
Are you using the slides?
Yeah, can you not see them?
They're not moving. They're not moving.
Damn. Let me refresh.
It's not moving on my end. I don't know about anybody else.
Yeah,
No.
it's not. No.
Oh man, hold on. Let me reshare my screen here. Thank you for letting me know. Hold, please hold. Did your screen change now?
It changed, yeah.
Oh,
Click
okay.
up and down. I'll tell you if it moves. Yep.
Yes? All right, whatever. We're going with a ghetto style like this. Okay. So this is what I was saying before. Okay, client communication. Here's what happened. Here's what's happening right now. Here's what's happening next. Here's the solution. This might make my hand gestures make sense a little more now. All right, dates and deadlines. Working next to Bill Dentremont, this was the key to making him stop having heart palpitations on the daily, right? So I don't know how many times I would be next to Billy D and he would go, oh crap, I need to be in Weymouth in 6 minutes and I'm in Hanover. Or, oh shoot, I have a home inspection at this time and I have to be there in 6 minutes. All like it was daily. And I'm like, what
She's
are
so
you
busy.
doing with your life? Why are you doing this chaos? Please don't rely on your memory. That was my biggest, like, I think besides getting him to like stop using AOL mail. No offense if anybody on here still uses AOL, but besides using AOL mail was using a calendar. So don't rely on your memory, right? I used to have razor sharp memory. Like before I had kids, before the mommy brain seeped right through, I have too much on my plate now as a mom to remember these little dates, right? So use a calendar. If it's Gmail, if it's on your phone, if it's whatever calendar, use a calendar. I know some people still love the old school have it in your hand agenda. For anything that's paper that I use or used to use, I would always take a picture of it at the end of the day, just so if I lost it or if I left the office without my paper checklist, I wouldn't be left out to dry, because I don't know how many times I left my paper checklist at home and I needed it in the office or vice versa. So if you use a paper calendar, just take a picture of it every once in a while so that you have it somewhere handy. Use a calendar for deadlines, right? So as soon as the offer gets accepted, what I would do is I would pop in all the dates that are on the offer into your calendar. So a big one is the inspection deadline, the purchase and sale deadline, the mortgage commitment, and then the closing date. So those are the most, like if you get through those, your transaction's solid, right? Everything else is gravy compared to those dates. So put those in a calendar somewhere. Have a whiteboard or an Excel sheet for a quick glance. So I drafted up, can you guys see my handy dandy whiteboard? How many people are super visual? Like you need it in your face or you forget about it? Me. Literally clothes, if they're not like on the top of my dress, like the top of my drawer, they'll go like 3 months without being worn until I like get to that level of clothes. It needs to be in my face. So for that, back in the day, and I know this still works for a lot of agents, we would have this handy dandy whiteboard in our office, right? So these are the main components of a listing that I needed to feel like I needed to know all the time. So the listing address in the town, the price, and if there, I don't know if you guys can see it, I tried, but if there's a concession or a credit, put in parentheses below it, like what it is. So that way.
Danielle, we really can't see that.
Oh, dang.
Well, you'd have to just unshare your screen, Danielle, to make it bigger. That's why.
Oh, okay.
It's because you slide things up. That's the only reason.
Oh, dang. I'll get there.
Mhm.
Did it go away? No. Shoot. Hold, please. Please hold. Better?
Are you clicking stop share screen?
Yep.
Yeah, no, it's not working. That's weird. Oh,
More
there it
better?
goes.
There
Yep.
we go. All right. You still really can't see it. But this is
No, we
like a
can.
-5. All right. So property address, price, if there's a concession or a credit, put it in parentheses under here, because when you go to do your commission statement, you're going to forget. And if it's a net commission all the time, you're going to miss that because you forget, right?
You know what, Danielle? Now that you say, that's why I like to come to these classes, and I start thinking about things.
Yeah.
I would, because I've never done that. I've just put the price. I would also put under there is what the commission split is, because
Yeah.
I feel, I'm like, is that the 2 or the 2.5? And then I'm like, I have to go back to the purchase and sales or back to the MLS and,
Pain in the ass,
yep.
right?
Mm-hmm.
The inspection date, when we're writing offers, we try to make the inspection date and the purchase and sale date the same. But if they were different, I would actually put the 2 dates here, right? Just
Mhm.
so you're aware. Purchase and sale date, the appraisal. So if this has been scheduled, I just put the date here. If it comes back, I put a check mark. Those
Mhm.
are so dicey right now.
Mm-hmm.
Keep track of those. I don't think we've had like a property appraised for the last like 4 transactions. There's been like hiccup.
Appraise at price?
No, none of them have appraised.
Really?
Big gap. One was 5, one was like 15, one was like 18. Crazy.
Wow.
And then this column right here, SWOT, smoke, water, oil, Title 5, right? So I have here smoke, oil, water. I don't know how many times I forgot to put this column in, and you have to pull the MLS like 1,000 times. Be like, oh shoot, is this well? Oh shoot, is it oil? Oh shoot, is it Title 5? Oh shoot. So if you just make a note here, the second it comes together, or the second you take the listing, you're gonna save yourself having to go dig for everything 6 more times 2 weeks from now. The mortgage commitment and then the closing date. I was neurotic when we used to do the actual whiteboards. Now I do it in Excel, pretty much the same thing. But if we put a handful under and say my closing dates got sloppy, like 11/5, 11/1, 11/25, 11/17, I would go back, take a picture, erase it, and then put it in order of closing date. You know, if you have 2, it's easy to kind of make the mental switch of which one is a priority. But if you have 8, like having to hop back and see like, oh, okay, this one's the 1st, this one's the 5th, this, just keep putting it in order. If you do it in Excel, at least you can sort by this column,
Mm-hmm.
right? What else? Anything else? Any questions so far?
Danielle, hi, it's Bernice.
Hi, Bernice. How are you?
Good. Do you put the commitment date up there? I came in a little bit later.
Yeah, absolutely. I put it right here next to the closing date.
Okay.
Oh, and if these dates fall this week, so say this was due this week, I would circle this. Or if it was in Excel, I would change this to a different color because I want my attention here. These, whatever, right? But anything that was a priority, I would circle.
Okay.
Like, oh shoot, that needs to be on my radar. Oh shoot, oh shoot.
Okay.
Okay?
Danielle,
Thank you.
Danielle,
Yeah.
do you just use the board or do you have like an online version of this, like a Trello board or something?
Yeah, so I used Trello for a long, long time and I loved it. I can share my view. I'm switching to TC Workflow, which has more automation, like canned emails, but that's really for like somebody that has like 20 to 30 pendings at a time. Because it's so cumbersome to build out, I wouldn't suggest it. You know, if you can just get away with doing the templated emails through Gmail.
Yeah.
But because it's getting a little more cumbersome, that's what I use now.
Gotcha.
You can also use checklists through command. And I can show you what that looks like too. If I can go back to my screen. All right. We'll pop over there in a minute. Can you guys see my slides updating now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, okay. We talked about old school methods, right? This was my life at one point in time. I think we were at Billy and I were in Marshfield. But my brain needs to know what's happening next in each transaction, right? So if somebody came to you and said, what's happening right now in Grant Street? Instead of saying, oh shit, and like getting the sweat, right? This is my holy grail. where for each transaction, I'll just put, I'm trying to remember how long ago this was. What's coming next for each transaction. So I tried to keep it to 2 things because you could literally write your whole task list here, right? But that's not the point of this. The point of this is to know quickly what things need your attention, right? So we had a condo here. What's super important on the condo side was the applying for the 60. What else? This kept my sanity for so long before I switched to Trello. And then, oh, sorry, my Facebook is blowing up. Dot loop templates. Is anybody using templates in dot loop? Not the junky office templates.
Yes.
Sorry. I'm not sure if Braintree has the same thing, but in Norwell, when we click on add loop, there's options that show up that's like create a listing loop, create a offer loop, create a fire loop. There's different loop templates that pop up. And there's a whole bunch of paperwork that it adds to your loop, but none of it's custom filled for you, right? So in dot loop, you can set up templates of, say, your license disclosure, so that every time you pull that up, it already is pre-filled with your name and your license number. Or if you prefer the G bar as opposed to the MAR listing forms, you can have them all queued up, ready to go. If your commission split, if you always charge 5% on a listing, you can auto fill that so that it comes up every time. You don't have to fill out the exclusive right to list every single time. What else do I automatically check on there? When there's offers, you know how it gives you the 3 different scenarios that you can choose from? If you always pick the same one, you can block out the initials for the seller on the 2 that you never ever use and just have them initial I think we go with the one in the middle, right? I forget what that even says. So anything you type in for the same exact thing for every transaction, you should have a templated dot loop file for. What else? Any questions on that? Is anybody using that right now?
I didn't know what you were talking about originally, but yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. It's a huge lifesaver, right? If you already have, and what I do in the templates is I only have in there the forms that I actually use, so that you don't have to scrub through the 130, KW version now forms that are in there. That's painful.
Right.
So it's just like having a file folder on your desk that you plug and play. It's ready to go all the time.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
What about is there a form now for teams that you can add? Because we were putting everybody's license number on the team down the bottom.
Oh, yeah.
So I heard that we were going to have a form made up that will just, automatically, you add that to your listing paperwork. Is there some new form?
I haven't seen that yet, but what we've done is we have had our team members pre-sign a license disclosure, and we keep that in our templates so that I don't have to ping 4 agents to sign one form every time. So it's just like a template boilerplate for us.
So do you put it on only one piece of paper, or do you put it on everything? Only that one? Okay, good. Okay.
Yep. So what else? Templates for everything. So if the same speed bump happens 3 times, right? So if you're at the same part in the process where you're like, oh, shoot, take a step back and just look at how you're doing things, right? It's so easy to get caught up in I just need to do it, it just needs to get done, that we sometimes forget to take a step back and say like, oh, if I just sent this one email out 2 days before this deadline, my entire life will be easier for the rest of the transaction, right? So just, keep your reticular activator going on if you have that same like, oh shit moment 3 times. Be like, I need to fix something somewhere, right? Plug the leak before it springs again. All right. What else? have you guys seen the task list in Command?
The what you're in now?
Yeah.
The opportunities, you mean?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, that's the best.
yes. So if you haven't seen this before, what used to live in Trello, which is a handy dandy, hi Ben, a handy dandy like checklist program. I basically transferred everything that I had in Trello into Command, right? So if I click on, I'm in opportunities. Are you guys using this in Braintree yet? Like mandatory for transactions?
No.
Not mandatory, no. I just
Okay.
use it because it's really fun.
Yeah, why not, right?
Satisfying.
It is
And you don't
satisfying.
forget people too, because like there's like I have buyers and I'm like, oh yeah, I should call them because they've been like sitting in there.
Yeah. So this little handy dandy card will eventually replace your green sheet. So to get paid on a file in Norwell is very different from submitting a green sheet. It takes a little bit longer, a little bit more information. Once you get into the groove of it, you'll know what you'll need, where a green sheet is basic information, what you're getting paid the end. Command asks you for a little bit more information than that. But over here, once you create an opportunity, you can click on this button right here, and you can upload your own checklist, right? So this is great if you have your own admin on your team, right? If you wanted to see like what part in the process was done, you can do that right here. What do I have next on here? So for 10 Easy Street, we need to make sure the septic inspection was scheduled. And I put that as a reminder for myself tomorrow. But I'll do it now since I looked at it.
Are you typing all those in individually? When you said upload a list, I've never seen that.
So
Part of
I
it.
wish there was like a CSV way that you, like if you had a task list in Excel, I don't know of a quick way to upload that. So I did print out what I had in Excel or what I had in Trello, and I had to manually create it, but it is a template. So I can add that to every single listing. I don't have to type in the task list every time.
So you did the template originally, and then you can add it all in. You don't have to type all the stuff in on each file every time.
Right? Yep.
How do you do that?
I haven't done it in a while, and it's probably changed where you can access it. But let's see.
I didn't even know that was a thing. That's huge.
Yes. Tasks. I'm willing to bet.
Maybe
I
just
did this
treat it
so
there.
long. Oh, create a new task. Let's try it together. I'm afraid this will only create a one-off. I'll find the instructions on that. I did this a couple months ago, so I can't remember, and I'm sure it's changed anyway.
That would be huge. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll play
send
around
that
with it, but if you happen to find it.
Yeah, I'll post it in the Facebook groups once I
Because I
find
just keep rewriting things over and over again.
Oh, please,
I have
don't do that.
Well, I have them in my calendar. I have them everywhere, but like for me, I just always like, I don't know, I like to write on paper, I guess. And so I have like 100 books everywhere, which is ridiculous, but it says the same thing over and over again. And then if I don't like my handwriting later down, then I rewrite it. It's
Same.
a disaster. Yeah.
Yep, it's a problem.
Yep.
What I've used now, I used to have that spiral notebook where I used to create the property names and the two things. Now I've moved on to like cardstock paper because if I have that on my desk, like I can feel quickly which one is my to-do list because it's thicker than the other ones.
Yep.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
Right? Instead of like the notebook, whatever, just trying to make life easier, right? And then Ashley asked about Trello. This doesn't take as much time to set up as something like the TC workflow that I had mentioned. Let's see if I can still log in. Or let's try this. This was my transaction. Well, shoot.
I could show mine if you can't get in.
Yeah.
I think mine's automatic.
I always have to remember not to say my passwords out loud. Ah, shoot, I can't get in. It's been a while.
It's like opportunities, but you can put colors and stuff.
It's just like opportunities. They actually based it off of Trello.
I figured they probably did, yeah.
Oh, dang. Oh, please hold. Any questions while I try to log into this? Was this helpful? Did I miss any speed bumps that you might have? Any of those like, oh shit moments of, ah. It's not even sending my password. Can you share yours, Kristen?
Yeah. I'll just need to,
Steal the screen.
yeah. Oh, see, something's wrong with it, that's why.
Trello?
Yeah, it
Oh,
just
it's
said,
down.
we just sent you an email, yeah.
Uh-oh.
I was trying to log in and said, we can't log you into Trello right now. We've sent you an email with instructions.
Oh, I got that same message.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
well, it's
something's
down.
wrong.
But it does look exactly like opportunities. See here. And let me go back over and I'll show you what I mean. All right. So Trello looks exactly like this. However, in Trello, what I would do, here you have to click on the address to see a bunch of information. The only difference, which makes Trello a little bit more user-friendly for me anyways, is that under 10 Easy Street seller name, you can put in a closing date here and your commission amount will populate here once you get further into the transaction. But I would put really important things right here, right? So lockbox number, if it were different for some reason, any love notes that I have on this client or any other dates or whatever's pending, I would list under here and you could see it quicker than having to click into your task list. But other than that, so you can drag this transaction. This is actually wrong because it's an active listing, but you can click on it and drag it over here. And it's actually really wrong because this one's under contract. But you see all the different phases up here: cultivate, appointment, active, under contract, close. Why I would suggest using command over Trello right now is that if you got super serious about commands, you could keep an active pipeline in here, right? So right now we have like 3 or 4 different systems trying to do what command isn't completely perfect at yet, but hopefully will be soon. But it's so much easier to have it all in one spot instead of my client lead intake is in a Google form and that goes into Google Drive, and that I zap that through Zapier into a different program, into our database, right? So I have all this complex stuff set up to automate my workflow when command does like that already. So if you used command to its fullest extent and you got a listing lead, you would click on the person in your database, click add to opportunities. So you can set them as watch, nurture, how you can edit these top fields up here. So you could scoop them along. So if they were 30 days out from listing, you could keep them in this column. And if they were more urgent, you could put them in your 0 to 7. So again, we used to have a whiteboard for this, but you can click and drag those little contact cards all throughout this. will be migrating that way shortly. We haven't done it yet, but I have to untangle all of my automatic things and figure out how that works in Command. So you can click and drag this since it's not active, it's under contract. You can click and drag it up to the next phase here. And it'll pop up under offer accepted. And then I have a new checklist under offer accepted. Do you remember how it said, I think I was at 13 tasks out of 33 before. And now I have a separate to-do list under when an offer gets accepted, right? So here's all my important dates. Here's all my, did I send this email? Did I introduce the attorney? All that.
So the list is gone, or when you put it backwards, it will come back up again?
That's a good question.
Because that, wow, okay.
Oh, let's see here. I betcha.
Is there a way to transfer documents from zip forms into Command? Because I've been using zip forms plus to set up all my paperwork.
I'm not familiar with zip forms. I am a dot loop ride or die. I do not like DocuSign. Everything is so much easier in dot loop for me. I've never used zip forms, so I apologize. What else? I don't know the answer to that question, Kristen, where that went. I tried to click on the different phases to see if it's saved.
If it moved automatically like that, I bet if you put it back. Shut up.
Oh, here it is. It's under this pre-listing paperwork tab.
Oh. All right, I gotta figure out how to do that.
Yeah, I don't love that it doesn't show you, like I wish that it like compounded your outstanding tasks onto the next one, but at least you know where it lives now.
Right.
Yeah. Shoot, I wish I could log into Trello. Mine's built out. I loved it. But what else? Any other questions? Anything you guys are stuck on and keeping track of who's who in listings? That's it? I'm good if you guys are good. All right. I will post when I find, oops, sorry, Lisa.
That's, can we, I know it's being recorded, so you know how, I mean, I missed the beginning, so I'm wondering where we're gonna find that.
Yeah, I can post a link to that on the Facebook group.
Okay, which one?
Both offices.
Okay.
I'm in
excellent.
both.
All right.
Yeah. Yes. And what else? If you guys need help with any sort of transaction services, I launched Elevated Ops recently. So if you needed help with creating your dot loop templates, if you needed help with open house flyers or managing the details of a transaction, let me know. That's something that I can help you guys with.
Yes,
All
thank you,
right.
Danielle. I'm gonna call you.
Yes, please do.
Thank you, Danielle.
All right. Take care, guys. Have a
Can
happy
I just
whatever.
ask one quick question?
Yeah, sure.
So I'm new to Keller Williams, and once we have a contract signed, or the the buyer contract or the seller contract, is that supposed to be sent over to someone to be reviewed by any chance?
If you're brand new, I would loop your mentor in on that transaction. They could review it for you for like accuracy, or if you're missing like a signature or initial anywhere. But technically your file doesn't need to be submitted to the office until your purchase and sale is completed.
Okay, great, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. To submit your file to the office, there's something called a green sheet. So I think Lindsay at your market center or your mentor could help you, walk you through that form. Basically what will happen is the office won't know that you have a property under agreement until you submit this green sheet. That kind of puts it in their queue for to keep an eye out for your closing.
Got it, thanks.
Yeah, no problem. All right, any other questions? Good enough.
Mhm.
Have a great day,
Thank
everybody.
you so much.
Yeah, anytime.